No, thank you. Sleepy. Come back in an hour.
Need sleepy.
Please go away. Let me sleep for the love of God!
It's now time for the Billy C. Morning Show, part of the Billy C. Boxing Network. Interact with the show at BillyCBoxing.com.
And we're coming to you live from the Billy C. Studios in Lake George, New York. I'm Bill Calogero, and it's time for the Billy C. Morning Show. Good morning to everybody. Hope everybody's doing all right. Especially give a shout out to all of our Fight TV and Fight.TV viewers. Glad you guys could join us today. We're glad to be part of your morning. Today's show, it's being brought to you in part by Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant, located in beautiful St. Simons Island, Georgia, the Golden Isles, if you will. Check out the website, www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com, or give my man a call, 912-268-2328, 912-268-2328. And don't forget, if you're heading north or if you're heading south on I-95, it's 15 minutes out of your way, and I guarantee you, it'll become a regular stop for you. Sal's Neighborhood Pizzeria and Italian Restaurant. Mention this show, and whatever you buy there, you'll get a cannoli for dessert. Trust me, the cannolis will bring you back by itself. www.salsneighborhoodpizzeria.com. Today's show is also being brought to us in part by the Triple G Kell Brook post-fight show that we're going to be doing here live as soon as the fight is over. Now, don't forget, it's on HBO starting around 5 p.m. Eastern Time, and we go live approximately 6 minutes after the official announcement is made. So if you want to catch our post-fight show, make sure you watch the live version of Triple G Kell Brook on HBO this Saturday night. And today's show is being brought to you in part by my book, Tom Molyneux, From Bondage, The Baddest Man on the Planet, is available right now where all good books are sold. And you can literally get a copy of it right now by going to barnesandnoble.com, amazon.com. If you like Kindle, get it on Kindle, Nook. If you want a signed copy, visit our website, billycboxing.com, and click on the book club section. Today, I got to, first of all, start off with some sad news in the sport of boxing. A former world champion and Boxing Hall of Fame, Bobby Chacon, has passed away. It happened yesterday, I believe, during our live show, so I didn't get a chance to find out about it. Bobby Chacon was a world champion in a couple of weight divisions, in the featherweight and super featherweight. He did move up and challenge Boom Boom Mancini for the lightweight title, which ended up being the last fight of his career. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 2005. He had a career record of 59 wins, 7 losses, and 1 draw, with 47 wins coming by knockout. Bobby Chacon was a fan favorite because of his take no prisoners type of style. He passed away at the very young age of 64. And our thoughts and prayers and condolences goes out to the family and friends of the late, great Bobby Chacon. One thing I just want to add, fighters don't normally get songs written about them. But Warren Zevon wrote a song called Boom Boom Mancini. And in the song, there's lines that are constantly, verses, I should say. They say, hurry home early, hurry on home. Boom Boom Mancini is fighting Bobby Chacon. Haunting to this guy right here, me, because two of my favorite fighters, and I'll never forget racing to see that fight. It was on fairly early. It wasn't late in the evening. I believe it was even on in the afternoon. And I remember racing over to a buddy's house and watching that fight. And me being a big Boom Boom Mancini fan and a fan of Bobby Chacon, it was kind of sad to see because Bobby Chacon wasn't what he used to be. And Boom Boom Mancini loved Bobby Chacon and basically gave him a shot at this title and a payday. And the night was ended early. But Warren Zevon, his song "Boom Boom Mancini," puts in perspective about that fight. So again, our thoughts, prayers, and condolences from everyone here on Billy C. Boxing Family to the family and friends of Bobby Chacon. A couple of things I want to talk about today. Triple G, if he knocks out Kell Brook on Saturday, will he get the credit he deserves? That's my question today. Will he get the credit he deserves? We're going to talk a little about Roy Jones Jr., Shannon Briggs, and more on Canelo Triple G, as told by Oscar De La Hoya. But first, Triple G, if he knocks out Kell Brook, will he get the credit he deserves? Joining me right now, Sal Rocky Senecoli. Will he get the credit, Sal?
You know, it's so funny. You and I have talked about this fight, and it's going to be, I think, a great fight. It's great for boxing. You're going to have people, Bill, that just for the sake of argument, they're going to give Triple G the credit when credit is due, no matter what the situation. Almost like Larry Holmes used to profess the same, things like that. I think they should. This should win them over a little bit, but you're still going to have the naysayers that will still doubt, and they could make an easy argument. Well, Kell Brook came up 2 weight classes, shouldn't have been fighting in first place, which leads me to my another segue here. That's why Kell Brook, he has nothing to lose for this fight. It's a great fight for him to take and to really get his career in the highlight spotlight. But no, I don't agree with that.
You don't
Triple
agree?
G is a great fighter. He should be given the credit. He hasn't ducked anybody. He just goes in there, he does his job, he destroys them. That's what you're supposed to do as a fighter. Beat your opponent and beat him convincingly. And that's what Triple G does.
Do you think he's going to get the credit?
Yeah, I think he'll get the credit. Yeah, I think he'll get credit for it. But when you say you have all the naysayers that don't really think that Triple G is, for whatever reason, the best out there, they're going to have an excuse and a reason why they're going to use it. Still, here's a welterweight coming up, so he's going to get some credit. He's definitely going to get some credit. But you're still going to have the naysayers that are not going to give him credit.
Well,
that's my opinion, Bill.
No.
But like I said, I love the guy. I'm in his corner. I can say he's got to get the credit. But I know people, and there's going to be still some doubting Thomases that are going to look for that reason. Because if they haven't given Triple G credit up to now, you know, it's not going to win over everybody if he beats them.
It's one group of people that really don't give him the credit, and that's generally the Floyd Mayweather fans. And I think they don't give him credit because they try to cover up for the fact that Floyd Mayweather wouldn't man up and fight the guy. You know, so anything that he does, especially when he is in the news, they discredit him. And the fact that Kell Brook is moving up 2 weight classes, like you mentioned, is more fuel to the fire. You know, forgetting the fact that fighters have had to do that against Floyd. It just seems that Triple G isn't getting the credit that he deserves. And should he knock out Kell Brook, I think that they're going to say, he knocked out a welterweight. And if he loses the fight, I think they're going to say, see, he was never that good. I think it's the complete opposite to what you said. I think Kell Brook is in a win-win situation, whether he wins or loses the fight. You know, he doesn't really lose anything. He's still a champion if he decides to fight back at welterweight, which I don't think he will. But Triple G is in a lose-lose situation. If he wins the fight, they're going to say, he beat up a welterweight. If he loses the fight, they're going to say he was exposed.
Well, and that's what I said. Maybe I misunderstood your question. I thought you asked me, would Triple G win over people that doubt him? And I said he's never going to win over some of the people, like you said, the Mayweather group. Never. So the bottom line is, yes, and I think this is a win-win situation for Kell Brook. He's got nothing to lose. You and I have talked about it. This is great. Even if he loses, well, he stepped up. He's got the gullions to come up there and try and win a fight the way he should, in fashion. He's got the spirit of a champion. He's got the skills of a champion, and he's going to make the effort of a champion. If he falls short, he's still a welterweight champion.
What do you guys think? Drop me an email, Billy@TalkinBoxing, TalkinBoxing.com, will Triple G get the credit that I feel he deserves should he knock out Kell Brook? And don't forget, tomorrow is Fan Driven Friday, so if you don't feel like dropping an email by, you can give us a call. We'll open up the phone lines tomorrow. Got some emails right now, Sal. This first one's from Jesse. He says, hey, Billy C., I heard Huey Fury will fight against Andy Ruiz Jr. in the Vladimir Fury rematch card, and the winner supposedly fights the winner. Dax reported that yesterday, and he says, good fight, but neither are proven anything in their fights, or let alone fight for the belt, which I agree with. And I was just going to say, it's pretty sad that Huey Fury, no disrespect to him, and Andy Ruiz, no disrespect to him, if this is true, would immediately get a shot at ultimately what many people regard as the ultimate, undisputed, I guess, even though there's other title holders, but the title that currently is held by Tyson Fury, should Vladimir win the rematch, or even Tyson Fury win the rematch, for either of those two guys to fight Andy Ruiz Jr. or Huey Fury. Obviously, Huey Fury's not going to fight Tyson Fury, but if that's the case, it's a sad day in the heavyweight division, where fighters like Ruiz and Huey Fury get to fight the likes of the opposition that they have fought and get an immediate shot at a world title. It's pretty disheartening. But anyway, he says, do you think Roman Gonzalez's fast hands and inside fighting will be a key to win the fight against Cujas? I think that Roman Gonzalez, Sal, I think that his, technical soundness, which I believe he is, and his overall, I mean, listen, this guy arguably is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world today. I think that his skill set, his jaw, his granite chin, and his punching power are all going to play into this fight. And I think we're going to see possibly a career-defining performance on Saturday.
That's what fighters do. They rise to the occasion. The champions will always do that. So that's great. Yeah, I think we're, what? We've had a drought on some good competitive fights over the last couple of weeks, but I think this weekend we're going to be given a few to really look at. I'm looking forward to it. Jesse says, your thoughts on Bobby Chacon? Is he a Hall of Famer or just a good fighter that couldn't face the best? You see, that Jesse, no disrespect to you, but this is one of my hang-ups with a lot of young fans today. You guys just don't know. Bobby Chacon, and I look at Bobby Chacon, as not fighting that long ago, even though it's been 30 years already. But the truth of the matter is that he was a great fighter, and he is a Hall of Famer, and he did face all the best fighters in the world at the time that during his era. So, I mean, all those questions shouldn't be questions. I just said in an opening, Warren Zevon, said it best in his song that he wrote called Boom Boom Mansiri. The lyrics in the song and the verse, hurry home early, hurry on home. Boom Boom Mancini is fighting Bobby Chacon. I mean, to me, it says it all. So punch up some fights on Bobby Chacon, and I'm sure you'll be a forever fan. His style was very entertaining. There's no question about that. He says, I think Triple G should stop worrying about facing Canelo and focus on Kell Brooks and other middleweights after this fight. Is it any concern that Brooks gassed out in the first fight of Carson Jones, where Jones was in his face all night long? Jones hurt and bloodied up Brooks really bad. Could this be a repeat if not worse? Well, you know what? Kell Brooks is a lot bigger. Kell Brook is a lot bigger than he was when he fought Carson Jones. But Carson Jones is no Triple G, Sal. I mean, I don't care how many times he fights Carson Jones. I got another analogy I'm going to throw out there.
Jeez.
Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying.
You're right. No, you're right.
I think Kell Brook has improved a lot since that fight. I think Carson Jones was one of those types of fighters that help a fighter improve. And like I've always said, Sal, a million times, fighters need to increase their level of opposition as they're being moved up. Kell Brook should have faced a Carson Jones earlier than he did, but nonetheless, I think he learned a lot from those fights.
Oh yeah, you sure did, and that's what you do. As you said, you brought along, you step up your level of competition, and when you're a champion, you're already in driver's seat. So you better really fight and train and choose carefully. No, good stuff this weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
Jesse says, one last thing. I'm thinking of going to the Andy Ruiz, Lawrence, which is Franklin Lawrence, fight in Lenmore, California. Do you think it's a good card overall? It will be my first live boxing event. Is it worth it to go? Let me just tell you this, Jesse. Forget about whether it's worth it to go. Forget about whether it's a good card, whether I think it's a good card or not. Here's my thoughts. You interact with this show almost on a daily basis, if not on a daily basis. Obviously, you follow the sport of boxing. I would say if you have the opportunity to go to this fight, go to the fight. Forget about whether it's going to be a worthwhile card or not. You need to experience a live boxing match in the fans. Try and get your hands on the best possible seats, the closest seats you can find, and go enjoy yourself. Forget about the quality of the card, the quality of the fights. Because once you go to a live boxing event, it'll change the sport for you forever. There's no other live sporting event like a live boxing event, regardless of whether it's a good card. So if you haven't seen a live event yet, go spend the money and go watch this one. Then once you feel that feeling, then you can decide whether other cards are worth it or not. I've always felt that you should support live boxing events, especially local club shows. Not that this one is a local club show. It's actually going to be televised. But I say yes, if you can, do it, Jesse. Thanks for the email. Another email, Sal. Well, Sal, you just before I move on, you got to agree with me about seeing a live fight in the stand. I mean, watching a fight live is way different than watching it on the tube.
Well, it is, and you get caught up in the whole aura and the adrenaline and the fans, and I mean it's electrifying. It really is. It's exciting, and you're in a forum that really requires you to really look around and pay attention, because it's a neat place, and it will either solidify a fight fan's belief ability or what he would want as far as his passion in the game of boxing, or it might just say, hey, that's boxing. But it's definitely a must need to go to experience a live boxing match or show of cards.
Plus, there's usually some hot women roaming around. So
I didn't say that.
I did. You're the good guy. I'm the other guy. I'm the other shoulder. I'm the guy on the other shoulder. But anyway, this is from my man Chip. Or Mitch, whatever he wants me to call him. And his subject is Cujas. He says, Carlos Cujas has way too much acne on his back. I'm not going to tell you what that typically means with fighters. You know what? Yeah, you know what it means? Maybe you should get a tube of Clearasil. What do you think, Sal?
I'll tell you. Yeah, we know what he's inferring or trying to suggest. I'm gonna. Clearasil should work good. Might peel and run off during his sweat and perspiration. But maybe a few massages with that might not hurt.
Hey, what was that? Your Jackie Gleason impression? Humming.
Remember
the honeymooners? He used to do that on the honeymooners. Humming. But anyway, it's my man Mitch is he's the police when it comes to PEDs and stuff, and he makes a good point. You would think a fighter would want to win a title legally, so to speak. But, hey, I still believe in the old saying, you're innocent until proven guilty. Unfortunately, it's not like that anymore. It's I can make an accusation, and then you got to prove you're innocent. So I don't know. But
I like your beliefs. I like it. What's the other thing you used to say? Wherever you're going, that's where you are?
No, wherever you go, there you are. But anyway, we got another email. This one's from my man Brett. And I just want to thank Brett. I got some. I love his wife, Melinda, and she sent me. And basically, she kind of slapped me in the face today because She sent me some photos of her beautiful family. She's so proud of her husband, Brett, and their sons. And I tell you, Brett and Melinda, you did a great job. I just can't believe how quickly these kids are growing up and stuff. And Aaron, actually the oldest, looks like a mini me of Brett. And he had dropped us an email on his own, and he's 10 now. He just turned 10. So, time flies. But congrats, Melinda and Brett. You guys have a wonderful family, and I couldn't be happier for you. And Brett says, hey, Billy C. and Sal. He says, I couldn't help but laugh when I read how Roy Jones Jr. wants to keep on boxing and said about returning to the ring in December or even January. His last bout against Rodney Moore was a joke, and he ought to quit now while he's ahead. He must be delusional since he was saying this with his arm still being in a brace. He clearly has nothing left at 47 and should stick to commentating on HBO. Personally, Brett, I think he's run his course on commentating too. I'm not a big fan anymore of his, but he says of his commentating. He says, I also read Oscar De La Hoya addressing the Triple G Canelo situation. While I don't see the logic in what he's saying because he's left out something important, Triple G is a small middleweight and Canelo was a large junior middleweight. I'm going to get to that quote in a second, but the truth of the matter is real quickly, what Brett is saying here is Oscar De La Hoya is trying to convince everyone that Canelo still hasn't grown into the middleweight size yet, that he's really a little guy and just a junior middleweight, which is complete bullshit because the truth of the matter is Canelo is a big dude. The guy steps into the ring.
Canelo's got to walk around, Bill, at about 170 pounds.
Well, he's able to do what a lot of great Mexican fighters were able to do, and that's dry out. The guy loses 10, 15 pounds and puts it back on overnight. And to suggest he's not a true middleweight, I mean, the guy, fight night is weighing close to 180 pounds, So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
the guy's a light heavyweight, let alone a middleweight.
He's bigger than Triple G. He walks around bigger than Triple G. He's physically bigger than Triple G. I mean, come on. Anyway, he says there's absolutely no reason why the two couldn't fight now because even if Canelo went in the ring as a junior middleweight, the two of them would rehydrate after the weigh-in, so there wouldn't be much of a difference in the size. This is why I don't buy Oscar's pitch about Canelo having to build up to being a true middleweight. Yeah, wait till I read the quote. That's exactly what he says. He says the two of them tend to forget that us, meaning the fans, pay their bills and should give the fans what they want for the good of the sport and its relevance that look out for themselves in the business decisions. I personally think that Canelo is really banking on Brook beating Triple G, and he will pull a Mayweather saying how he lost his O and will stay clear of him. Keep up the great work, guys. Thanks, Brett. And I agree with you, and I say that all the time. The truth of the matter is, Sal, that the fans do pay the purses and the salaries of these fighters. And for them, and this is one of the biggest things Brett just touched on, one of my biggest hang-ups, is why the sport of boxing and the fans get fleeced more than any other sport. I mean, here you are with fighters now in today's world being able to say out in public and then have the young fans even support them to say, oh, I don't want to take any chances. I don't want to get hurt. I don't want to, worry about this. I want to take the easiest fight for the most money. And the fans say, oh, yeah, we agree with them. I don't understand that mentality, Sal. It's hard for me to comprehend.
No, well, you and me both, because you know what? We're from the old school. We know what we saw. We saw the Bobby Chacones. We saw the fighters that wanted to put it on the line, that weren't afraid to fight, that rose to the occasion and did what they had to do.
Yeah, no, it's sad.
Different era.
Well, the worst part of it is, and I say this all the time, you get what you pay for, and people they give you what you want. So as long as people are paying and watching these, and I'm not referring to Triple G, Kell Brook, or Gonzalez, Kudras, or even Mora against Danny Jacobs. I'm not even referring to them as showcase or cherry-picked fights, but for the ones that are, like for example, if Andy Ruiz or Franklin Lawrence win and they go on to get a title shot, that to me is sickening, considering they didn't fight anybody else, or Huey Fury for that matter. But anyway, Chris from Canada, we got the Canada connection going on. Brett, now Chris, he says, if Triple G has a dominant performance on Saturday, does the Canelo fight even happen in 2017. That's a good question. I think it's time for me to read Oscar's quote, Sal, and we'll get your thoughts on this.
Okay.
Oscar was asked once again about the Triple G situation and Canelo seemingly ducking him and picking a much easier path. Oscar De La Hoya said, well, first of all, Canelo takes every fight seriously, and he never looks past anyone. Liam Smith is an undefeated fighter, the WBO junior middleweight champion, and he's knocked out his last 8 opponents and comes from an outstanding boxing family. As of today, Canelo is a 154-pound fighter. He's only fought for a middleweight championship because the fans wanted a fight with Miguel Cotto, and Canelo delivered by winning that fight convincingly. I have been clear that Canelo will fight Triple G at 160 pounds, and we have a verbal agreement to do it in the fall of 2017. But in the meantime, Canelo's going to build up to being a true middleweight. The plan is to face Smith, a big, bruising 154-pounder, and then if Canelo comes out victorious, to start making his way up to 160 pounds, and then eventually fight Triple G on equal turf in terms of weight in the fall of 2017. We envision Canelo doing a third fight this year, either close to or in the middleweight division, and then fight on Cinco de Mayo at 160 pounds before taking on Triple G in the fall of 2017. I know Canelo Golovkin is the biggest fight to make. The fighters know it's the biggest fight to make, and the fans know it's the biggest fight to make. Everyone agreed that a fight for the middleweight championship should take place at the middleweight limit, and once Canelo builds up to that weight, the fight will be on. In the meantime, we're hopeful that and confident that Canelo will continue to perform at a level that has led to back-to-back knockouts of the year over James Kirkland and Amir Khan, and when his body is ready, Triple G should look out. Sal, first of all, I'm curious to know what your thoughts are on his comments about this, and second of all, sprinkle in the fact that Triple G, if he has to wait till the end of 2017, that he's going to be pushing 36 years old. He's 34 right now. Do you think that factors in along with the rest of this rhetoric that Oscar De La Hoya is expecting the fans to accept?
Ding, 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 ding. You got the right answer.
Survey says. Ding, 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 ding.
I'll tell you what. Yeah, he's trying to sell it, and he will to some people. But, yeah, that's it. I mean, you know what? There is no catch weight, nothing here. Get in the ring, have the fight made. You want to fight the guy, you want to put your money where your mouth is. Fight the fight in the first quarter of the new year ahead. You had a great window of opportunity to do so at this current end of the year, but you didn't do that. You didn't take that opportunity, and right now, Kell Brook rose to that occasion, and he is. But I'll tell you what, yeah, I don't want to hear from De La Hoya why and rationalizing why and everything else. It's gonna be like waiting for the Pacquiao Mayweather fight 5 years after it should happen.
It's exactly what I was just going to say. First of all, the thought that Canelo isn't a 160-pound fighter is complete. It's, as Mike Tyson would say, it's ludicrous. It's just ludicrous. But the truth of the matter is, okay, everybody sit down for a minute, because you guys are going to be shocked at what I'm about to say. All right?
Not me.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I can't wait.
Are you ready?
Bated breath right here.
I want to give Floyd Mayweather Jr. credit, because Floyd Mayweather Jr. is the reason why they're copying his road to success financially and his game plan of letting fights just marinate, build up value, and at the same time, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, at the same time, they're successfully letting Father Time beat up a little bit on Triple G. So not only are they using he's got to build up to 160 pounds, oh, we want to build up the value of the fight to get the fans salivating for this fight. The other reason is we want Triple G to get a little older. Maybe he'll slow down. Maybe he'll do. And that was Floyd's blueprint. Hey, that was his blueprint to a lot of his fights as his career led on. Now, make no mistake, Floyd Mayweather's no spring chicken either. It's not like he stopped time and all the fighters around him, a la Manny Pacquiao, was aging and Floyd wasn't. But the difference here is that Canelo Alvarez is young. He's still in his early 20s. So for him to sit out a year or two, it doesn't hurt him as much as it's going to hurt Triple G. Triple G is going to age overnight. When you hit that 34, 35, 36 years old, especially as a pro athlete, especially in the sport of boxing, you age pretty quick. And, credit to Floyd Mayweather's success, because if he didn't do it successfully and even do it to Canelo, these guys all wouldn't be copying him right now. That bothers me that people can't be original. They're all trying to copy Floyd Mayweather. And there's only one Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather was able to do it because of a combination of things, and one of them, of course, being his skill set. So I wish people would try and find their own identity, Sal, instead of trying to rip a page out of the success book of Floyd Mayweather Jr.
Well put, man. I'll tell you what. And that's exactly what we're seeing here right before our eyes.
It's sickening.
And go ahead.
No, I said it's sickening.
It's sickening. It really is. It is, and they're selling it to the fans, and some of the fans are buying it.
Yeah, a lot of them are buying it. But anyway, one other thing I want to add to Golden Boy, since I'm talking about Oscar, Eric Gomez was promoted effective immediately to the president of Golden Boy Promotion. So congratulations to Eric Gomez. He's been a long-time exec at Golden Boy. He was a matchmaker, and he's still a young guy. So congratulations to him. It was announced yesterday. So we earlier in the show, we got a couple of emails concerning Roy Jones Jr. and his statements yesterday. He was saying, I ain't done with boxing yet. He says, he tore his right bicep in the joke of a fight, like my man Brett mentioned, against Rodney Moore, or Rockin' Rodney Moore. And he said, at the time, this may end my career. Could have been a good point for him to walk away. He did it in his home turf, Sal, in front of all his fans, and he won the fight, and he could have walked away on top, but no. He says, I feel good. My arm feels good. I am going to fight again, hopefully again in Pensacola, where he's from. He says, I might even fight by the end of this year or January. When's this guy going to say it's over, Sal?
Well, some of us have a hard time.
I know,
really
but forget about you. I mean, when does a fighter, especially an accomplished fighter, listen, you had different reasons. You had different reasons to it was burning inside you because of woulda, coulda, shoulda. All right, let's be real. Let's call a spade a spade. Your career ended without you getting the opportunities and chances that you wanted to fulfill when you started your career, and it haunted you for 20-something years. Roy Jones Jr. has accomplished everything. He's in the record books. He's made a ton of money. He's successful. There's nothing left for him to prove. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, he's just taking chances unnecessarily, I think.
Well, he is, and there goes the old saying when the doctor talked to me about what happens to a skull, to the brain after the age of 28, let alone 30, or how old is he, 47?
Yeah.
It's a big risk. It's a big chance. It's putting a lot on the line, especially when you've already proven that you're not only a world champion, but you really did it in a style and fashion that was commendable, and that's why you're going to be a first-round Hall of Famer.
He was the first guy in over 100 years to win the world heavyweight title, and then go back down and win the light heavyweight title. The first guy since Bob Fitzsimmons. You know,
That's
so
right.
I mean, you know, that's pretty amazing.
Talking about
right there.
just post bare knuckle days. We were talking about the other day about Gentleman Jim Corbett and John L. Sullivan.
Exactly.
I mean, that's a long time ago.
I know. What was it like back then, Sal?
I'll tell you.
So you were a little lad, weren't you? Wasn't
I
that
was
the
a
first?
little lad.
Wasn't that the first live fight you saw? Was Fitzsimmons against
Corbett.
James Corbett?
And Corbett invented the soloplex.
That's right.
He looked at, let me shoot this guy a shot in the belly.
That's what it was.
And let him spit up some Guinness.
and his wife would be out there screaming. It made Rachel look like a mime. Rachel from Carl Froch. But anyway, talking about circus acts, Shannon Briggs.
Oh, I thought you were
we were talking about Roy Jones, but Shannon Briggs is announced yesterday that he's going to be fighting again in December, except it's not going to be against David Haye. Now, if you guys recall, David Haye promised, not only in the media, but on social media and basically to anyone that would listen, that should Shannon Briggs go and fight on his undercard when he fought some bum, and he gave Shannon Briggs a bum to fight, and they both fought two bums, and if they both beat the bums, they were supposed to fight each other. Well, David Haye has pussied out of this. You know, David Haye, listen, Shannon Briggs.
Hey, David.
Shannon Briggs, you know, despite being ranked at number 6 by the WBA, which I find completely horrific because it's a joke that he's even up that high, especially with the level of opposition that he has fought. And he's just become a PR machine for himself. He comes up with some funny stuff. I mean, of course, everybody knows, let's go, champ. Everybody loves it, right? But the truth of the matter is David Haye has chumped out. He's pussied out. This is a guy that a lot of people still give credit to as being a quality fighter. I think that David Haye has been a fraud since he walked away from the cruiserweight division. I think that his run, even though he did hold a title at heavyweight, I think he's a 100% fraud. And to suggest that this guy should even have someone pay a nickel to go see him, I think anyone that would support David Haye at this stage should have their head examined. He was refusing to fight Shannon Briggs. If he doesn't feel he can beat Shannon Briggs, then he is nothing. All he's looking for is a payday and some kind of shot at a main guy, Tyson Fury or a Klitschko, another shot at Klitschko. And I think that that's bullshit. And I don't mean to be a little foul-mouthed. But the truth of the matter is it's total BS. Shannon Briggs says, the show must go on. We were waiting for David Haye, but I scared the shit out of him. He says, I have to go another route. What's his excuse? That he's not ready? That Shannon Briggs pulled his hair? That he cyber-bullied him? That his toe is hurting him again? He says, this is Shannon Briggs, says, I'm dying to see the pie they dig up for David Haye's next fight. Referring to he's going to get a piece of pie to fight. But nothing for nothing, Shannon Briggs, I'm sure, is going to get the other piece of that pie, don't you think?
Oh, absolutely. There's going to be that pie is going to be eaten.
That's pies, cupcakes, whatever. It's a joke. It's a joke. Yeah. It makes me sick. But anyway, hey, you know how we get fighters that test positive for banned substances or drugs or PEDs or whatever, and they get a suspension or something like that. Basically, they get a hand slap, right, Sal?
Yeah, that's it. That's all they do.
Well, in Germany, it seems like they do a little more. Felix Sturm apparently has tested. He tested positive after his fight with Fedor Chudinov back in February, and both of his samples tested and so on and so forth. And it was announced yesterday. It was released yesterday that the German authorities, according to media outlets and press that has been released in Germany, that Felix Sturm is facing a hefty fine and or up to a 3-year prison term for his doping test failure that he took after the Chudnoff fight. The German law that went into effect has made taking PEDs a criminal offense. Sturm, who denied taking illegal substances for that fight, has left his gym, and he's moved back to Bosnia with his family. It seems to me like he's trying to get out of Dodge. What do you think, Sal?
Yeah, I think that's a good analogy. I think he's not going to want to be facing that music anytime soon.
No, and it seems, he says, I didn't do it. Quick, pack your bags. Let's get out of town.
Let's get the hell out of here while we can.
Let's get out of here while we can.
We still got a passport.
Exactly. I didn't do it. Read my lips. I didn't do it. Quick, pack the bag. Call the cab. Let's get out of here. But anyway, hey, football season's on us, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it started last week, and Sal, you missed it, but I went 3 for 3 with the college picks, and I hope to continue my winning ways for you guys, and I'll announce my plays for tomorrow, for the weekend on tomorrow's show. But the Georgia Bulldogs won. It was one of my picks. I told everyone to play them -2.5, and they covered and won. I told everyone to take my Alabama Crimson Tide -11. They spanked the crap out of USC, and you won that one if you listened. And also, I told everyone that Clemson was going to beat Auburn, but take Auburn plus the 7 because it was going to be a close fight, close football game, and it was. So I went 3 for 3. I had a listener who I emailed my address to. He won $600. He bet $200 a game because of my picks. He won $600, and he's sending me a bottle of Pinch. So hey,
wow.
Hey, listen. The bottom line is this: I have a line service called Crystal Ball Picks. I'm sorry, and I sell my picks. But if you listen to this show on a regular basis, you're getting the picks for free.
Wait, Billy. Can you rewind that? I want the phone number.
It's through email. But yes, I do that, and I have been doing it for.
I didn't know that.
Oh
Bill.
yeah. We've been doing it for 8 years. I think we're 7 years. I'm sorry, 7. But we do very well. And my picks are we have I give away a diamond pick. I used to do it on the show, and we sell them every week. And sometimes you get them, and sometimes you don't. If they're not going to win, I don't. Obviously I don't pick them. But I'll be glad to give them away free on this show. And then if people want to throw me some of their winnings, I'll be glad to take it. So with that said, the NFL season kicks off tonight.
Unbelievable.
And I can't wait to watch it. It's a rematch of the Super Bowl. The Carolina Panthers are visiting the Denver Broncos. In Denver, of course, and the game is a good one. There's some question marks. The Panthers are a solid team. The whole team pretty much is returning. Cam Newton is the quarterback, and I think he's probably the most gifted and most athletic and the best quarterback in the NFL today. Whole quarterback. He can do it all. He can run. He's durable. He can pass, of course, and he's just got a fluid. The way he releases his ball is just it's so fluid, and he's got such a strong arm. He's the model of what I think quarterbacks of this day and age are going to be. Big, strong guys, and the Carolina Panthers are not afraid to let him run the ball and stuff, which a lot of teams do not do with their multi-million-dollar franchise quarterbacks. Now, as far as Denver goes, Denver is kind of reeling. Peyton Manning won the Super Bowl in a marginal game, nothing like what we're used to seeing with Peyton Manning, but he's since retired. And the Broncos have a lot of question marks behind center. Mark Sanchez, formerly of the Jets and the Eagles, was in the mix to be the quarterback, and they just traded him over to the Minnesota Vikings due to he went to the Cowboys. The Vikings took the guy Bradford from the Eagles. But in any event, Denver Broncos have some question marks, but they're playing in Denver, and they do very well in Denver, and they still have their defense, which is arguably the best in the league. Here's what I see with this game. First of all, Denver Broncos started out this week as a 1-point favorite, meaning you'd have to lay a point to play Denver. As of today, the point spread is the Panthers -3, which means it's been a 4-point swing. All the money is going on the Panthers. The total in this game is 41.5. Now, some stats that you might know: the Panthers are 4-0 with the under in the last 4 Week 1 games. The Broncos completely reversed. They're 5-1 with the last 6 games on the over. What does this mean? It means stay away from this game, ladies and gentlemen. Do not play this game. This is a sucker game. The swing is saying to play the Panthers, but if I am not officially picking this, I don't advise you to bet this game.
Warning.
It is. It's a sucker game. This is called what we call in the gambling world a trap game. Don't play this game. There's too many question marks. I highly recommend that you stay away from it. My personal pick, I like the Broncos as a team, but I think the Carolina Panthers are going to come out with the win in Denver. That doesn't mean Denver's going to have a bad season. I just think that it's going to take a couple of weeks to gel with a new quarterback behind center. Remember, they gave up their backup quarterback. He's over with the Texans right now. Was it the Texans or the Jaguars? I think it was the Texans. And I just think that this week is, I know everybody's anxious to put a couple of bucks on the NFL game kicking off tonight. Stay away from the game. I'll have some wins for you tomorrow for Sunday's games. So just enjoy the game tonight. Don't put any money on it. That's my recommendation. What do you think about that, Sal?
I think it's a great recommendation. I'm dying to ask you a question. Who do you think is going to win the Giant game? That's the one I want to bet on.
The Giants. I'll give you a breakdown. I'll see if they make the cut. But remind me, who they even playing? I forget.
I was hoping you could tell me.
Oh, okay. Well,
you weren't supposed to go there, Bill.
Well, the truth of the matter is, I'm pretty focused on the Jet game right now with them playing Cincinnati. But coaches, listen to Coach in here. Coaches, all of a sudden, Coach is trying to compete with me with football. Look at him. He's in the chat room right now going Denver by a field goal. Come on, Coach. Although, hey, I will tell you this. Coach just informed me, I thought he was pulling my leg, that the New York Mets, my baseball team, just signed Tim Tebow to a minor league contract, which shocks the hell out of me. And I gotta learn about that a little bit later after we get off the air. But back to our original question, the bottom line is Triple G against Kell Brook. We are doing the post-fight show here approximately 6 minutes after the fight is over when the official announcement is made. Now, don't forget, it's on HBO, ladies and gentlemen, and it starts at 5 p.m., I believe, 5 p.m. Eastern, because it's coming to us live from England. So after that fight is over, tune it in right here on BillyCBoxing.com or our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Talkin, TALKIN, boxing, BOXING, or on Fight TV and Fight.tv, FITE.tv on your mobile app. So we'll be doing that. And our question today, and I'm looking for some final thoughts on it, Sal. Triple G against Kell Brook. Triple G knocks out Kell Brook. Does he get the credit he deserves? I mean, what's your final thoughts on that?
My final thoughts is he's going to win over some people. But you said it clearly earlier, and that's what I'm going to just reiterate, is you have the diehard Mayweather fans that will build a shrine for this guy, and they're never going to use or give anybody credit where credit is due. Triple G deserves all the credit in the world. He is a world beater. He is a world champion. The guy is great. He does everything right. And the bottom line is this fight is going to be a very interesting fight. In fact, Bill, I just want to finish with this question, but I want to talk to you about a couple of other analogies that this fight brings to the table. It's pretty interesting. But, he's got to get credit by people that believe in Triple G. You're going to have the the naysayers saying, "Hey, see, we told you, Kell Brook was a monster. He was bigger. He's this and that." But Triple G knocked him out and caught him, and earlier, whatever the heck it was, or is, and you're not going to win the ones that say, he fought a welterweight champion coming up. You're just never going to win those guys over. So don't even try. Triple G is a great fighter. That's not a point to even argue. He's a great champion. He's a great human being. So I like him.
Well, yesterday's show, I know you still were doing some things. Plus,
Yes,
you guys
was.
got hit with the hurricane down there, and we talked about the fact that Triple G has announced, and it's Abel Sanchez was in several interviews saying that he's genuinely concerned. That Triple G is genuinely concerned about Kell Brook and how big he's got, and how good he looks. And, a lot of people feel it's just some hype, that Triple G isn't nervous, and all of these things. And, I took it like maybe he was questioning Abel Sanchez, not because he was nervous about getting in a ring with a big Kell Brook, but he was saying to himself, did this guy juice up? Did he do anything? Is he am I fighting an even fight? Triple G thinking about Kell Brook. The bottom line is great fighters do great things. Kell Brook is doing something like you alluded to earlier, Sal. He's doing what we expect from great fighters. He's moving up not one but two weight classes. He seemingly has gotten himself into top physical condition the right way. He's put on this weight, and he seems to be just as quick with the videos I've seen. He claims he's got more punching power. He feels more comfortable at this weight. I've said it before. I'll say it again. I don't think he's ever going back down in welterweight. But win, lose, or draw, like you said earlier, Kell Brook is in a win-win situation. Triple G, on the other hand, is in a lose-lose situation. But should Triple G knock out Kell Brook, I think that everyone should give him the credit. Triple G has won, last 23 fights in a row by knockout or something like that.
Yeah.
He's been dominating his opponents. He's fought more legitimate top 10 fighters than anyone in the middleweight division, and you could argue that he's fought more than anyone in any other division, except for maybe Chocolito. But, this guy's the real deal, and I hope fans that are on the fence with him will give him credit should he put on a great performance on Saturday night.
And what you just said, it's going to be a great performance. You got fighters here that are champions, that are the kind of fighters that do their sport and their craft justice. They're good people. They work hard. They don't have excuses for themselves. They know they're going to go in a ring and face each other. I think it's great. I was playing in my mind when I was looking at their films and training and everything else. It's almost, I'm going to say this with a little hesitancy, but it reminds me of the contrast in styles and the way their bodies are built of a bigger version, maybe 25, 30 years after the fact, of a Boom Boom Mancini versus Livingston Bramble. Now, Bramble is no Kell Brook, and Mancini, I'm going to have to say, is no Triple G. In all due respect, they're great fighters on that level. But I could see, Kell Brook trying to use that style, that slippery, a little boxing, the in and out, a little switching up the southpaw, to orthodox, to this, to that. And I'm going to see with Triple G, I went with my gut instinct when I first heard the fight announced. Triple G is going to knock him out by the 8th round. And if it doesn't go by knockout by the 8th round, then you're going to see some competitive last couple of rounds that Kell Brook's surviving the storm, and he's going to try to box and move him and win a decision.
A lot of people feel that if it goes to the scorecards, Kell Brook might win a close decision. The comparison between Boom Boom Mancini and Livingstone Bramble, you hit a real sore spot to me because I'm a huge Boom Boom Mancini fan. And
Me too. I love Ray. He's a warrior. I love Ray.
Livingstone Bramble was like the kryptonite for Boom Boom Mancini.
He was.
And the one thing you left out that Kell Brook has not tried, or I don't think anybody can get to Triple G mentally, but Livingstone Bramble, if you remember, in the first fight, had Dooku Kim's name on his trunks. Remember, he had Kim written across the front of his trunk. And Boom Boom,
talk about kryptonite.
but Boom
That's
Boom,
not even funny.
yeah, but Boom Boom Mancini, his career was pretty much ended when Dooku Kim died. He was never the same fighter. And he's admitted it many, many times that he just couldn't mentally get in that ring and inflict the damage that he used to on his opponent because of what happened, the tragedy in the ring. So that mental aspect also played a part, in the fight with Boom Boom and Bramble. But anyway, great analogy. And tomorrow we'll be, giving our final predictions. We've been kind of doing it all week, but a couple other fights I want people to keep in the back of their mind, because remember, tomorrow is Fan-Driven Friday, so we want you to drop us an email, Billy at talkinboxing, TalkinBoxing.com. I'll read it on tomorrow's show, or get ready to call us, because I'm going to open up the phone lines. Danny Jacobs is fighting Sergio Mora tomorrow night in the rematch. Daniel Jacobs pounded on his chest saying how great he was after Sergio Mora broke his ankle or whatever the hell he did. Both of the fighters hit the deck that night. I'm kind of, even though I'm not a big fan of Sergio Mora, I'm kind of looking forward to the rematch, because I think Daniel Jacobs, no disrespect, is overrated. We also have another good fight tomorrow night, Steve Claggett against Emmanuel Robles on CBS Sportsnet. Fight TV's Jim Ross is calling that fight, so with Al Bernstein, so make sure you tune into that. And then, of course, on Saturday, Triple G, Kell Brook, Cujas against Chocolito. And another fight that we haven't had a chance to talk much about, Jesus Soto Karass and Kamagagi rematch. Fireworks in that fight, Sal. I mean, we got some big fights going on. And then, of course, the one Jesse's going to go to, Andy Ruiz Jr. against Franklin Yaya Lawrence. Although, which I found pretty funny, that Andy Ruiz, who's fought nobody, is fighting Franklin Lawrence this Friday. And Sal, an interesting stat we talked about on yesterday's show, Lawrence happens to be the youngest fighter that Andy Ruiz has fought this year, and Lawrence is 40 years old. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, I could.
But I mean, that's the youngest guy he's fought. And this is a guy that's claiming to be relevant in the heavyweight division. I find it pretty comical.
I find it ludicrous.
It's ludicrous, as Mike Tyson would say. It's ludicrous. Hey, it's that time again for It's Too Early for a Trivia question, which is being brought to us today by the Southern Gourmet Spice Company. If you're looking for a unique spice, check out Kenny Bear's barbecue rub. You can get a bottle by visiting our website, BillyCBoxing.com, and click on the Southern Gourmet Spice banner, which is there on the right-hand side. Now, I gave a big hint yesterday. I'm going to give the same one today. If you're the first one to email me the correct answer on this trivia question, Billy at talkinboxing, TalkinBoxing.com, you'll win a great prize. What former world champion in his first pro fight defeated a man he would later beat for the world championship? Which former world champion in his first professional fight defeated a man he would later beat for the world championship? Now, I told you that this guy fought between the years 1940 and 1970, so I'm giving you a pretty close window, 30 years, to find this guy. So if you're the first one to email me the correct answer, you'll win a great prize. Which former world champion in his first pro fight defeated a man he would later beat for the world championship? Email me the correct answer. Good luck to everyone on that one. That's a tough one, huh, Sal?
It's a tough one. Did he win that first fight, though, against the former world champion?
No. Did you hear the question? What former world champion?
No. Did he win? Did he win the first fight when he first fought? He beat. Okay, good. Yeah. Go ahead.
What former world champion in his first pro fight defeated a man?
That's the key word. Defeated.
That's right. Defeated. Not de-armed him. Not de-armed him. He defeated him. All right. So now this. Hey, listen. I tell you what. Today. This day in boxing history is being co-brought to us today. First and foremost, it's being brought to us in part by our post-fight show, Billy C's Triple G and Kell Brook post-fight show, which is going to be going live approximately 6 minutes after the official announcement is made. Now, remember, it's an earlier show on HBO. It starts at around 5 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you're tuning in right here. And the second part of This Day in Boxing History is being brought to us by Sal's Neighborhood Italian Restaurant and Pizzeria's specials today. What's your specials today, my man?
Absolutely. Well, we're going to have some big things happening today. We're going to be doing we offer for a lunch special, we offer a slice of pizza with one topping, a salad, and soda for under $9. So that's going to be a big special for us. And we're going to get ready for we're going to do some velo, some buco tonight. We're going to do some big things. We're going to have some fish specials as well. So we're seafood specials. So we're really looking at some big things today. And tomorrow we have a whole slew of people that love and they look forward to coming in Friday and Saturday because we have our lobster roll special. We have lobster we bring in from Maine. We use my family's recipe from Montauk and Long Island, and we put together a beautiful lobster roll that we serve over a bed of greens or in the old shaved hot dog roll, the New England roll, and it's delicious, delicioso. Billy C, have you tasted our lobster roll?
I don't eat any seafood, but as soon as you said a bed of greens, it popped into my mind that delicious fresh spinach with garlic and oil that you guys do. Oh my God!
The chop of garlic, a nice white of wine, and a little bit of olive oil.
I love that. I love it,
and a little butter to help.
I always go. I'll have the side of the spinach. It's Jesus.
Well,
you know what? One of these days, I'm going to just get a big bowl of that, man. That's good stuff, man.
That spinach will make Popeye cry.
I tell you. All right. On this day, September 8th, in 1950, Sandy Sadler knocks out Willie Pep in the 8th round to win the world featherweight title, and that took place at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Not to be confused with defeat, but anyway, on this day in 1924,
ding, ding, ding.
Abe Goldstein wins a 15-round, which was Abe Patel Goldstein, wins a 15-round decision over Tommy Ryan to retain his world bantamweight title in Queens, New York. On this day in 1953, Harold Johnson wins a 10-round split decision over Ezzard Charles to improve to 42 wins and 5 losses in their heavyweight title fight. In their heavyweight bout, which took place in Philly, Pennsylvania. Ezzard Charles's record, he drops to 81 wins, 10 losses, and a draw. And on this day in 1973, Roberto Duran knocks out Gudis Ishimatu in the 10th round to retain his WBA World Lightweight title, and that took place in Panama. Duran improves to 38 wins and 1 loss. He would go on to have a Hall of Fame career, as you guys know, and he finished with 103 wins, 70 by knockout, with 16 losses and no draws during his Hall of Fame career. That concludes our show for today, Sal.
Wow.
And we look forward to tomorrow's Fan-Driven Friday. And all I could say is this, Sal. To you and to everybody else out there, make sure you tune in tomorrow morning. Same bat time, same bat channel. Until then, ciao, baby.